Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Gaura Dhawanlal and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Ruckus continues in Parliament over Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Both houses adjourned for the day. Parliament passes Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill and Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill. Cabinet approves continuation of fast-track special courts till 31st March 2023 and Samagra Shiksha scheme for school education till 31st March 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia asks Kerala government to take proactive measures and precautions to control COVID-19 situation. More than 48 crore 52 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. National recovery rate stands at 97.37%. Chief of Staff of U.S. Army General James C. McConville arrives in India on a two-day visit. In Tokyo, boxer Lavlina Borgohain bags bronze medal in welterweight category. Ravi Dhaya enters final of freestyle 57 kg wrestling category. India loses to Argentina 2-1 in women's hockey semi-finals. And in Test cricket, England were 138 for 4 in the first innings at tea against India at Nottingham. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact the national helpline numbers 011 239 78046 and 1075. And now, the news in detail. The stalemate in Parliament continued today following relentless protests by the opposition over the Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha have been adjourned for the day. In the Lok Sabha, when the House met after the 4th adjournment at 3:30 p.m., the Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill 2021 was passed amid a ruckus as opposition members including the Congress, TMC and DMK continued with their protest. The House was adjourned for the day. Earlier, amid a din, the Commission for Air Quality Management in NCR and Adjoining Areas Bill 2021 was passed. In the pre-lunch session, the presiding officer rejected the adjournment motions by the opposition. Following this, opposition members including the Congress, TMC, DMK and Left again came into the well, raising slogans. In the morning, when the House assembled for the day, members from the Congress, TMC, DMK and others trooped into the well. Amid noisy scenes, Speaker Om Birla tried to run the question hour, but in vain. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu today met leaders of various parties, including those whose members have been disrupting the proceedings of the House, and also those who have been demanding smooth functioning of the House. Sources said that during the course of discussions, Mr. Naidu expressed concern over disruptions in the House for the 12th day today. He urged leaders to do the needful to enable a return of normalcy to the House in the context of a broad agreement among various sections of the House to discuss farmers' issues, price rise and unemployment.
Parliament has passed the Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill 2021 with the Rajya Sabha approving it today amid din. The Lok Sabha has already passed the bill. The legislation seeks to amend the Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Act 2008. The Act designates an airport as a major airport if it has an annual passenger traffic of at least 35 lakh. The bill amends the definition of major airport and adds that the central government may group airports and notify the group as a major airport. The government today said that there was no provision to deactivate the Aadhaar of deceased persons. In a written reply to Lok Sabha, Union Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, said that the Registrar of Births and Deaths will share the Aadhaar number of the deceased with the UIDAI for deactivation only after changes are made in the draft amendments to the Registration of Birth and Death Act 1969.
The government is considering the proposal of the Election Commission of India to link the electoral roll with the Aadhaar ecosystem with a view to curbing the menace of multiple enrollment of the same person at different places. In a written reply to the Lok Sabha, Union Minister of Law and Justice Kiren Rijiju said that the issue of electoral reforms in its entirety was examined by the Law Commission in the recent past. India's nuclear power capacity is expected to reach 22,480 megawatts by 2031 from the current 6,780 megawatts. This information was given in a written reply in the Lok Sabha today by the Atomic Energy and Space Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. He said the share of nuclear power electricity generation in the country is about 3.1% of the total in 2020-2021. Dr. Singh said the government has embarked on a large nuclear power capacity addition program to increase the share of nuclear power in electricity generation.
The Cabinet today approved continuation of centrally sponsored scheme for fast-track special courts for further 2 years till 31st of March 2023. Briefing Media Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said 1,023 fast-track special courts have been given get 2-year extension. He said 389 exclusive POSCO courts will also get extension. He said central share of outlay will be funded from Nirbhaya Fund.
माइनर गर्ल चाइल्ड को, वुमेन को जो रेप के केसेस होते हैं उसमें जल्द न्याय मिल सके, उसके लिए फास्ट ट्रैक स्पेशल कोर्ट, इसको लेकर जो अप्रूवल दी है उस योजना को कंटिन्यू करने के लिए इनको 31 मार्च 2023 तक कंटिन्यू किया जाएगा। इसमें लगभग 1023 फास्ट ट्रैक स्पेशल कोर्ट्स चलते रहेंगे। इसमें पॉस्को कोर्ट स्पेशली 389 कोर्ट्स हैं। वो कुल व्यय इसके ऊपर 1572.86 करोड़ होगा।
This will provide speedy justice, access to justice to victims of sexual crimes, quick justice to the hapless victims, and declogging of the judicial system. It will also help in reduction in number of pending cases of rape and POSCO Act. The Cabinet today also approved continuation of Samagra Shiksha scheme for school education for 5 years from 1st of April this year to 31st March 2026. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said the financial outlay is over 2,94,283 crore rupees, which includes central share of more than 1,85,398 crore rupees.
समग्र शिक्षा 2 आज कैबिनेट कमेटी ऑन इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स ने उसको मंजूरी दी है। 2,94,000 करोड़ रुपया की आने वाले मार्च 2026 तक 5 साल में लगभग 3 लाख करोड़ रुपया की रकम भारत की स्कूली शिक्षा में एलिमेंट्री, प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी और हायर सेकेंडरी और इस बार एक नया आयाम उसमें जोड़ा गया है जिसमें अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन यानी नई शिक्षा नीति में 3 साल से बच्चा खेल के माध्यम से सीखने का उपक्रम पे जुड़ेगी।
The Union Cabinet has approved the Memorandum of Understanding MOU between Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, IIST, and the Delft University of Technology, TU Delft, the Netherlands, for carrying out the academic programs and research activities. The parties may exchange students at undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral level, and they will mutually discuss and decide the areas of studies and credits to be pursued under the scheme. The signed agreement will provide an impetus to explore newer research activities and application possibilities in the field of science and technology.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow at 1 p.m. through video conferencing. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, will also be present on the occasion. Uttar Pradesh will celebrate the 5th of August 2021 as Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana Day. Massive awareness programs will be launched throughout the state to ensure that no beneficiary is left out from availing the benefits of the scheme. Almost 15 crore beneficiaries of the state have been getting free rations through the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. Nearly 80,000 fair-priced shops in the state have been distributing food grains to beneficiaries of the scheme.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Ruckus continues in Parliament over Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Both houses adjourned for the day. Parliament passes Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill and Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill. Cabinet approves continuation of fast-track special courts till 31st March 2023 and Samagra Shiksha scheme for school education till 31st March 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia asked Kerala government to take in proactive measures and precautions to control COVID-19 situation. More than 48 crore 52 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. National recovery rate stands at 97.37%. Chief of Staff of U.S. Army General James C. McConville arrives India on two-day visit. In Tokyo Olympics, boxer Lavlina Borgohain bags bronze medal in welterweight category. Ravi Dahiya enters in final of freestyle 57 kilogram wrestling category. India loses to Argentina 2-1 in women's hockey semi-finals, and in Test cricket, England were 139 for 5 in the first innings against Indian at Nottingham. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has asked the Kerala government to take more proactive measures and precautions to control the COVID-19 situation in the state. In a series of tweets, Mr. Mandavia said he has written a letter to Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan in this regard. He said the central government's team, headed by the National Centre for Disease Control, has returned from Kerala and submitted its report. The minister said he also spoke to the Chief Minister over the phone and discussed the matter of rising COVID-19 cases in the state. He also sought the state's cooperation in managing the situation and assured the central government's complete support. Kerala continues to report a surge in COVID cases as it confirms 22,414 new positive cases today. The test positivity rate is 11.37% at present. Over 1,97,092 samples were tested in the last 24 hours. 108 deaths were also confirmed due to COVID today, taking the total death toll to 17,211. Bringing respite, 19,478 people recovered from the coronavirus infection. At present, a total of 1,76,048 people are undergoing COVID treatment in the state. Meanwhile, the state government announced revised COVID lockdown guidelines in the State Assembly today. The Delhi government has reduced the rate of the conventional RT-PCR tests for COVID-19 detection in private hospitals and laboratories to 500 rupees. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said the decision will help the common man. According to the order, RT-PCR tests will now cost 300 rupees when samples are collected by the government teams. The government has also reduced the prices of the tests in case of home collection of samples from 800 rupees to 700 rupees. For a rapid antigen test, RAT, the price will be 300 rupees. The order regarding this has come into immediate effect. It said all labs and hospitals will display the revised rates at prominent places within 24 hours.
The country has administered over 48 crore 52 lakh doses of COVID vaccine so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said More than 62,53,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. A total of 36,668 patients recovered from COVID during the last 24 hours, and the national recovery rate stands at 97.37%. The country has reported 42,625 new cases in the last 24 hours. The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19 tonight. Director of All India Institute of Ayurveda, Professor Tanuja Manod Nisari, will participate in the live discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free number 1800-115767. I repeat, 1800-115767, and on telephone numbers 011-2331-4444. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.nic.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on our News on AIR app for updates.
The government today launched the Indian Customs Compliance Information Portal for providing free access to information on all customs procedures and regulatory compliances. The Central Board for Indirect Taxes and Customs said it will handle nearly 12,000 customs tariff items. The portal, www.cip.iskate.gov.in/CIP, is yet another facilitation tool to empower businesses as well as any interested person with up-to-date information on the legal and procedural requirements of the customs for carrying out imports and exports. The portal will also provide complete knowledge of all import and export-related requirements for all items covered under the customs tariff. The Railways Ministry has approved the installation of CCTV cameras in all train coaches, including EMUs and passenger trains. A total of over 4,000 CCTV cameras have already been installed so far. This information was given by Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw in a written reply to a question in the Lok Sabha today.
The BJP has appealed to the National Commission of Protection of Child Rights, NCPCR, to take action against senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi under the POXO Act and issue a notice to him. Briefing media, New Delhi party spokesperson Sambit Patra said Mr. Gandhi's tweet violates Section 23 of the POXO Act and Section 74 of the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act that prohibits revealing the minor's identity. Mr. Gandhi had yesterday tweeted the picture of the family of a 9-year-old girl belonging to scheduled caste who was allegedly raped and murdered in Delhi cantonment. Mr. Patra said Rahul Gandhi revealed the identity of child's family and is using the issue for his political agenda, which is a punishable offence. BJP President JP Nadda today addressed the joint meeting of various national morchas of the party at BJP headquarters in New Delhi. During the meeting, while discussing various issues, Mr. Nadda stressed on the need to take the various welfare schemes and policies like education and Atmanirbhar Bharat to the people.
जो नीतियां माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सार्वजनिक रूप से सबके लिए की है, उन नीतियों में भी सबसे ज्यादा लाभ मिल रहा है तो हमारे अनुसूचित जाति को मिल रहा है। योजनाएं सबकी हैं, लेकिन लाभान्वित बड़ी संख्या में हमारे भाई लोग हुए। स्कीम्स के दृष्टि से जो अनुसूचित जाति के लिए, उनके पढ़ने के लिए, उनके विकास के लिए, उनको मुख्य धारा में लाने के लिए, जो पीछे छूट है, उनको साथ में शामिल करने का काम यह किया तो मोदी जी की सरकार ने किया।
Mr. J.P. Nadda has said that the policies launched by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi are providing maximum benefits to the scheduled caste community. He said as they were lagging behind, the Prime Minister has taken steps to ensure their development. Mr. Nadda said this while addressing the felicitation ceremony of cabinet ministers from SC category organized by the BJP SC Morcha. Mr. Nadda said the Prime Minister has worked on special schemes for the development of scheduled castes to ensure their education as well as to bring them into the mainstream. He said in 2015 the Narendra Modi government did the work of celebrating Samrasta Divas and also started celebrating Constitution Day. The union ministers from the SC community felicitated on this occasion include Virendra Kumar, Arjun Ram Meghwal and Som Prakash.
Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has said the National Education Policy, NEP, will make India's youth future-ready and aims at transforming the country into the world's largest skilled workforce. He was speaking at a webinar to mark the first anniversary of the National Education Policy on the theme Impact of NEP on Youth Empowerment and Sports Development. Mr. Thakur said the policy envisions holistic development of India's youth with an emphasis on skill development. The policy has set a target of providing vocational skills to at least 50% of students by 2025. The minister said the government is empowering the country's youth to transform from job seekers to job creators by inculcating an entrepreneurial spirit. In Jharkhand, the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, today registered a case in the death of Dhanbad civil judge Uttamanand after the Jharkhand High Court has directed the state government to hand over the case to the CBI. Earlier in the day, ADG cum Special Investigation Team Chief Sanjay Latkar held a meeting with police officials in Dhanbad to hand over all investigation-related documents to the CBI on the recommendation notice issued today by the state government regarding the investigation. A bench of Chief Justice Ravi Ranjan and Justice Sujit Narayan Prasad in the Jharkhand High Court had earlier accepted the recommendations of the state government to transfer the investigation of the death case of the Dhanbad civil judge to the Central Bureau of Investigation. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the 8.5-kilometre long tunnel between Banihal and Qazigund has been opened for traffic on a trial basis. This was informed by Union Minister for Road, Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari today. The tunnel will reduce travel time between Jammu and Srinagar by about 1.5 hours and 16 kilometres. The Union Transport Minister in a tweet said that built at 5,800 feet above sea level, the tunnel replaces the Jawahar Tunnel and will provide all-weather connectivity.
Chief of Staff of U.S. Army General James C. McConville is on a 2-day visit to India. Today he laid a wreath of the National War Memorial and received a Guard of Honour at the South Block. General McConville called on Army Chief General M.M. Naravne and discussed issues of mutual interest.
In Tokyo Olympics, boxer Lavlina Borgohain has bagged a bronze medal in the welterweight 69-kilogram category after she lost to world champion Basenaz Surmaneli of Turkey in the semi-finals today. This is the third medal for the country. Earlier in a tweet, the Prime Minister said her success in the boxing ring inspires several Indians. Sports Minister Anurag Thakur has congratulated and said Lavlina gave her best punch and India is extremely proud of what she has achieved. Earlier, PV Sindhu won a bronze medal in badminton, while Mirabai Chanu lifted a silver medal in weightlifting. India's Ravi Dhaiya has assured at least a silver medal as he secured a place in the finals of the men's freestyle 57-kilogram wrestling category. He defeated Nurislam Sanayev of Kazakhstan in the semi-finals 9-7 today. However, in another semi-final, Deepak Punia lost to Taylor's third, David Morris of USA, in the 86-kilogram category 10-0. However, Anshu Singh lost to Irina Kurachikina of Belarus in the women's freestyle 57-kilogram. Indian women wrestler Vinesh Phogat will start her campaign tomorrow in a clash with Sofia Magdalena Mattsson of Sweden in the 53-kilogram category. The match is scheduled for 8 a.m. tomorrow. India lost to Argentina 2-1 in the semi-final of the women's hockey match today. Now Argentina will clash with the Netherlands in the summit clash tomorrow for the gold medal at 3:30 p.m. The Indian Eves will meet Germany on Friday at 7 a.m. for the bronze medal. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a telephone conversation with the women's hockey captain Rani Rampal and coach Shod Moraina and expressed pride at the performance of the women's hockey team. He said that wins and losses are a part of life and they must not be disheartened. The Indian men's hockey team will take on Great Britain for a bronze medal tomorrow at 7 a.m. In golf, Aditi Ashok did fairly well when she got tied at second rank, 4 under par, while Diksha Daga tied at 56th rank, 5 over par after the first round. Promising athlete Neeraj Chopra sealed an automatic qualification for the men's javelin throw finals by throwing 86.65 meters in his first attempt. However, fellow javelin thrower Shivpal Singh failed to cross the qualification hurdle with his best throw of 76.40 meters. The men's javelin throw final will take place on 7th August at 4:30 p.m. Indian time.
Olympic bronze medal winner PV Sindhu has been given a rousing reception on her return to Hyderabad at Rajiv Gandhi International Airport this afternoon. State Sports Minister Srinivas Gaur, Cyberabad Police Commissioner VC Sajjanar, Shamshahabad DCP Prakash Reddy are among who welcomed PV Sindhu at the airport. Sindhu and her coach Park Chi Singh have been welcomed by scores of sports lovers on the occasion. In the opening test match of 5-match series with England at Trent Bridge in Nottingham, England were 145 for 6 wickets when report last came in. Earlier, the hosts won the toss and elected to bat. Virat Kohli's team is all set to square off with Joe Root's team in this much-awaited encounter. The series will kickstart the second edition of ICC World Test Championship, which will be played in 2021-23 cycle. After Shubman Gill, Hardik Pandya, Washington Sundar and Avesh Khan were ruled out even before the start of the series, opener Mayank Agarwal was declared unfit for the first test after suffering a blow on the back of his head during a practice session on Monday.
At the stock markets, the Sensex and Nifty jumped to fresh record highs today, while the rupee strengthened for the third straight session. A report from the business world.
The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange jumped 546 points or 1% to close at a new record high of 54,370. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange rose 128 points or 0.8% to also end at a new all-time high of 16,259. At the Forex market, the rupee strengthened 9 paisa to 74 rupees and 19 paisa against the dollar. Gold rose 330 rupees to 48,147 per 10 gram on the multi-commodity exchange. And in the international market, Brent crude oil futures declined 99 cents to $71.42 a barrel. Anubha Rohatgi for AIR News.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 26 and 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 31 degrees. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will experience partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperature will be between 14 and 30 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will experience thunderstorms. Dehradun will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rains or thunderstorms.
And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Ruckus continues in Parliament over Pegasus snooping, farm laws and other issues. Both houses adjourned for the day. Parliament passes Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill and Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill. Cabinet approves continuation of fast-track special courts till 31st March 2023 and Samagra Shiksha scheme for school education till 31st March 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia asks Kerala government to take proactive measures and precautions to control the COVID-19 situation. More than 48 crore 52 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. National recovery rate stands at 97.37%. Chief of Staff of U.S. Army General James C. McConville arrives in India on 2-day visit. In Tokyo Olympics, boxer Lavlina Borgohain bags bronze medal in welterweight category. Ravi Dhaya enters in final of freestyle 57 kilogram wrestling category. India loses to Argentina 2-1 in women's hockey semi-finals. And in Test cricket, England were 145 for 6 in the first innings against India at Nottingham. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.